profit is total revenue minus total costs. So this area, yes. Blue area is bigger than the red area, so the difference is profit. And we see that we have here positive profit. Okay? Yes, please, questions about this. What also we can check? We can also say that total cost we can calculate as the area under marginal costs, but the area under marginal costs here is only variable costs. And we have here also fixed costs, so it's not super easy to show to you the second way how to show it. So I think it's the easiest how to show the profit. Yes, two areas. The difference between two areas, and that's all. What else can check? Why in equilibrium, in perfectly competitive market, price should be equal to marginal cost? Why this is it so? So when we stop in choosing our quantity, when the change in profit is zero. Let's see one more time. Profit is total revenue minus total costs. Yes. Take the change in profit when we change the quantity. Is the change in total revenue when we change the quantity minus change in total cost when we change the quantity. And we stop changing profit. We stop increasing profit when this change equals to zero. In this situation, we stop. So this should be equal to zero. From here, we will find the quantity that we want to sell. Change in total revenue when we change quantity is by definition marginal revenue. Yes. Change in total cost when we change the quantity is by definition marginal cost. So in equilibrium, marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost. For a perfectly competitive market, and from here we will find Q star. For a perfectly competitive market, the change in total revenue is the price. Yes, we increase quantity, so we will have one more price in our pocket. Equals to price for perfect competition. So that's why this is our optimal condition. It's sufficient, but it's necessary, but not sufficient. And about this necessary and not sufficient, we will speak today in our class 7. We will solve two tasks minimum about equilibrium and perfectly competitive market in the short run and in the long run. Let's start. Please open class 7. Number 1. We should consider a perfectly competitive market of gummy berries where the market demand is equal to market demand equals to 2,500 minus 500 multiplied by the price. And the supply function, market supply, is 0 if price less than 1 and 500 multiplied by the price minus 500 otherwise. That means if price greater or equal than 1. This is market demand, market supply. You can also write that a synonym. Market supply, you can also write Q capital as supply out of the price. It's synonym. You can write like this or like this. Quantity supplied in the market. That's why Q capital. Quantity demanded also. Q capital D out of the price. Market demand. So, All the firms in the market have an identical short-run cost function. So we work in the short run. For the short run, cost function of each firm, total costs equal to 2 plus Q squared, where Q small is the quantity that will be sold by one firm. Okay, so Q capital all firms, Q small one firm. Then point A, calculate the equilibrium price and quantity. How many firms are there in gummy bears market? How much does each firm produce? So we have two parts. One part easy, second part I will explain to you. First, we should find short run equilibrium. In the short run, in the answer, we should write two things, market equilibrium. It's equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity that will be bought and sold in the market, two things in the answer. So, and the second question is the number of firms in the market and how much each firm will sell in equilibrium. So I'm sure that you will answer to me about the first part, how to find equilibrium in the market, in each market, what we should do. Elizaveta, please.
I'm not sure, but can we just take the equations of demand and supply and put равно, I don't remember the word, between them and calculate? Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. We should cross demand and supply as we did in class 2, I think, in seminar 2. Cross the demand and supply. So in equilibrium, in the market demand should be equal to market supply. Yes. Quantity demanded that will be bought should be equal to quantity supplied. Yes. So equalize them. For which price this is true? 2,500 minus 500 multiplied by the price equals to supply. 500 multiplied by the price minus 500. And this part, we took this part only if price greater than 1. Yes. So then we will check that this is true. So from here, solve this. How to solve? 3,000 equals to 1,000 multiplied by the price. So equilibrium price in the short run will be equal to how much?
3.
3. Yes. It check that it's greater than 1. So okay, we took the right part. Greater than 1. Okay. So this is the equilibrium price. Good. And equilibrium quantity. Who can tell me, please?
We should just put price in any of the equations and calculate.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So we can put it into demand or into supply. Because for this price, they are equal. Yes, quantity demanded and quantity supplied. Put somewhere where it is easier to calculate. I don't know, for example, into supply. 500 multiplied by 3 minus 500. It is 1,000. So we found short run equilibrium. Diane, question or what?
I just wanted to proceed, that's it.
Okay. So this is short run equilibrium, we answered. Okay. Then we should find the number of firms and the quantity that will be supplied by each firm. Diane, how we will do it?
I think that the number of firms is just 1,000 divided by the price. 1,000 divided by 3, isn't it?
Why by the price? What we know? We know that each firm, they are identical.
Yes.
They will produce how much? All quantity, yes? Multiplied by the number of firms. Agree?
Yes.
But we do not know this one and this one. We cannot solve it right now. How we will find the supply of each firm? what we should do? We should find individual supply function. Yes, Ivan, how will we find it?
Yeah, I guess we should find the marginal costs because it's equal to the price.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
So yeah.
This will be our first step. Thank you. Yes. First of all, we should write down profit maximization program everywhere in each task if you want to find something about the firm. So let's do it. Let us remember that price equals to 3, quantity equals to 1000. So our second part, we should find individual supply function q small s in the short run as a function of the price. How we will do it? We should maximize the profit. You write down the profit of the firm. It's total revenue minus total costs. So it's the price multiplied by the quantity minus total costs. Yes? You can put this expression here. This will be price multiplied by quantity, total revenue minus 2 minus q squared. And this you should maximize by choosing quantity non-negative. This is the profit maximization program. You write it in each task if you should find something about the firm. Okay? Then our first step, first order condition. This what Ivan told us, price should be equal to marginal costs. Why is it so? From math, from calculus, first order condition is the first derivative from the profit should be equal to 0 for interior solution. First derivative should be equal to 0 for interior solution. In here, take the derivative from this. Price minus the derivative out of total cost should be equal to 0. And this is marginal cost. Yes? So our first condition, price should be equal to marginal cost. And who can tell me marginal cost expression, please? Diane, maybe.
Excuse me, could you please once more explain what you did right now?
I want to find individual supply function. We wrote down profit maximization program, and we need 3 steps to find individual supply function from calculus. How to find maximum of the function? You should take the first derivative. Why is it so? Because, for example, you have profit like this here, quantity, and profit like this. Yes, and you should find this one, this point, q star. Yes. What means derivative? Derivative is the slope of the tangent line to the function. Yes, from math. And here in this point, the slope of the tangent line is this line is horizontal, so the slope equals to 0. Yes. So our first condition, first derivative, so the slope of the tangent line to our function should be equal to 0. It should be horizontal. You see? So, and we took the derivative from our profit. It's price minus marginal costs. And this should be equal to 0. So I explained to you why you have this condition. Price should be equal to marginal costs in each task. Okay? About perfect competition. What about marginal costs? Who solved it? Anastasia?
So marginal cost, as we know from the definition, it should be like change in the total cost divided by change in quantity. So it's just the like the equation, the как это называется-то? Drop.
The derivative, yes, by definition. Oh, from total cost.
Yes.
Yes. So when it is equal to,
Oh,
take
it's
the
equal to 1 plus 2 Q.
yes, 1 plus 2Q. So, and from here, you see, price equals to 1 plus 2Q. And we should find what? We should find Q. So express the Q from here. So Q equals to price minus 1 over 2. Yes? But this is only the first step. The second step, we should check that we found the maximum of the function, but not the minimum. Because do you agree that I can draw profit function like this? And if we will take this point, this will be the minimal profit, not maximal profit. But the tangent line is also horizontal. Yes? And we should check that we have this case with maximum, not minimum. We should check this. From calculus, this is second derivative should be less or equal than 0. So let's see what it means economically. For this, not true. We should take second point. Second derivative from the profit should be less or equal than 0 for maximum. Take the derivative. You see, price minus marginal costs. Price minus marginal costs. From this, we should take the derivative. And this is what? Derivative from the price. Price is constant. It is 0. So 0 minus marginal costs prime should be less or equal than 0. So one more time, minus marginal cost prime, the derivative from marginal cost should be less or equal than 0. What that means? Marginal cost prime should be greater or equal than 0. Agree? Without minus. That means that the slope of the marginal cost should be increasing. So we work on the increasing part of the marginal cost function. It's our second check. Second check. Check this. This is our marginal cost. So 1 plus 2Q. From this, we should take the derivative. It is 2. But we see that it is linear function with positive slope. Yes, and that's all. So 2 is greater than 0. So, okay, we found maximum, not minimum. And the third check. The third check, we should ask ourselves, do we want to work in this industry or we want to leave it? How we will answer this question? We should compare our profit with the profit if we do not produce anything. And to stay in this industry, to stay in the market, our profit should be greater or equal than the profit if we do not produce anything. Yes? That means that we will stay in the market, to stay in the market. So in economical terms, let's write. It's price if we produce with our rule. Price multiplied by quantity, total revenue minus total costs should be greater or equal than. If we do not produce anything, we have no revenue. Yes, no revenue, 0. And costs, if we do not produce anything. This is what? Please answer without raising hands.
It's fixed costs, I guess.
Fixed costs. Yes, yes, exactly. So if we do not produce anything, in the short run, we have fixed costs. Yes. So this is minus fixed costs. We can open price multiplied by quantity minus total cost consists of variable costs minus fixed costs. And this should be greater or equal minus fixed costs. You can delete fixed costs because they will be here and here. Yes, you should pay it anyway. You produce, or does not produce. This we delete. Then price multiplied by quantity should be greater or equal than variable costs. Agree? I put variable costs to the right. We can divide by quantity because we produce something greater than 0. And what we will find? Price should be greater or equal than variable cost divided by quantity. And this is what? Please answer.
Average variable costs.
Average variable costs. Yes. What we also know, see the first point. See the first point. In the first point, we see that price equals to marginal cost. Yes. So price equals to marginal cost. Yes. And also we know the point where marginal costs crosses average variable costs in the minimum of average variable costs. Yes. So also we can write that price should be greater or equal the minimum of average variable costs for the short run. So I will write it as a rule. So to find short run supply function, individual supply function, price should be equal to marginal costs. We will work on the non-negative slope or on the part on the non-decreasing part of marginal cost function, and price should be greater or equal than minimum of average variable cost. These 3 conditions. From this we will find the individual supply of one firm in the short run. What is the difference between short run and long run? Please. What will be the difference between long run supply and short run supply? In long run supply, same, price equals to marginal costs. We work on the non-negative part of non-negative slope part of marginal costs. But here, price should be greater or equal to what in long run? Ivan?
Just average costs, not variable.
Yes, because in the long run, we does not have fixed costs. Yes, and all costs, they are variable. So here will be minimum of average costs because they are variable, all variable in the long run, and that's all. You can see here, you will not have fixed costs. Yes, so you can say that variable costs, they are equal to total costs in the long run, and same calculation. So here will be average costs because they are all variable in the long run. So this is for you, how to find. So for our task, price should be greater or equal to the minimum of average variable costs. So let's find it. One more time. Our cost function, total cost function, is q square plus q plus 2. Something like this, yes. So variable costs will be how much? Points. This is total and variable. Which part?
It's
One?
total minus fixed too.
Yes,
Square
and
plus Q.
q square plus q. Yes, variable part. And 2 is fixed. Yes. The last is variable. And average variable here. Please continue.
May I?
Okay. Yes, Anastasia.
So average variable, it should be a variable cost divided by Q, and it's going to be Q, just Q.
No.
Oh, no. Q squared plus Q divided by Q, it's going to be Q plus 1, Q plus 1.
Yes, and minimum of average variable costs here. Easier. minimum. Q plus 1. What will be the minimum?
4.
Why 4?
-1.
Oh, no, sorry.
Just one.
Just
Just
one.
one.
Yes, because we produce some positive, non-negative quantity. Yes, and we see that average variable costs, they increases while quantity increases. Yes, so minimum will be when quantity is equal to 0. Yes, linear function. So minimum of average variable cost equals to 1 when quantity equals to 0 in this task. Okay, so price should be greater or equal than minimum of average variable cost. In our task, price should be greater or equal than 1. So price should be greater or equal than 1. And now we are ready to write down the supply function in the short run. So the supply function in the short run, individual supply, equals to price minus 1 over 2 if the price greater or equal than 1. And if price less than 1, what I should write here? If price less than 1, what we do? We leave the market, yes?
So it's 0?
Is it just 0?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we do not produce anything. Yes, yes, please questions about how we found short run supply. Okay, and now we're ready to find how much each firm will sell and the number of firms. Yes. So we know that equilibrium price equals to 3. So each firm will produce how much? Tell me.
3,000.
One item.
1.
1. Yes.
Yes, because 3 minus 1 divided by
Mhm.
2, that's 1. Wow.
It's 1. Agree. Yes. So, and the number of firms is total quantity that is bought and sold divided by how much one firm sells. It is 1,000 over 1, it's 1,000. So we have 1,000 firms in the short run. This is the answer for the first point. Second. Identify the minimal price at which a typical firm will agree to sell gummy berries in the short run, but we found it now. Yes, point B. Minimal price equals to how much? Ready to sell. I calculated it.
It's 1.
1. Yes, it's minimum of average variable costs. Will this firm get a positive, negative, or 0 economic profit at that price? Also easy. Price or profit if price minimum equals to 1 is what? It is a positive, negative,
Negative.
negative, and you know exactly that it is minus fixed costs. Yes, it's minus fixed costs. And this is minus 2 for our function. Minus 2, negative economic profit. Why we agree to work with negative economic profit in the short run? Because you know it, yes? We agree in the short run to work with negative economic profit because we have fixed costs and we will pay it or produce something or doesn't or do not produce. Yes, we will pay it anyway. And for example, if you will have the price a little bit higher, for example, 2, yes, you will have also negative profit, but it will be greater than minus 2, and we paid a little bit. We covered some part of our fixed costs. We're happy in the short run about these factors.
I'm sorry, but can we assume that later the company will start receive positive income in the short run or not? Because in our lecture we had the curve of the company in the first period of time losing profit, and then it becomes 0, and then it starts growing. And can we assume it in this case or not?
Here we solve static situations, static equilibriums. We do not consider time periods. We do not consider that now we have like this and then we will have like this. It's not in our task right now.
All right.
We have static situation here right now. That's all. What else about this task? Questions?
Why did you assume that the minimum profit, the profit here is negative because it is minus fixed cost? I mean, where did we take minus fixed cost from?
It was from point A. Okay, so when profit equals to profit if we do not produce anything, when price equals to minimum of average variable costs, and we found it from here. Yes. See point A.
Yeah, the price is the price is the minimum of average variable cost. I understand, but where is minus fixed cost?
If price is minimum of average variable costs, we produce 0. Yes. And
yes.
if we produce 0, it's total revenue 0, variable cost 0, and we have only fixed costs. It was in point A.
I see. Thank you.
Okay. So if price equals to minimum of average variable cost, we produce quantity equals to 0. Yes, in this point. You can check it. Price equals to 1. Put it here. 1 minus 1 over 2. 0. Yes?
Yep.
Supply. Okay. So let's continue. Our second problem. In the second problem, we will speak about long run. Suppose that a typical perfectly competitive firm has a long run cost function given by total costs equals to 0 if we do not produce anything, and 10q square plus 1000 if we start the production. You see that we actually works in the long run. Why? Because if we do not produce anything, we do not have fixed costs. Our total costs are equal to 0. Fixed costs are equal to 0. Yes. At what level of output is its average cost minimized? Point A. At what level of production, at what price? Level of output. For which quantity we will have minimum of average cost. What we will do? So let us find average costs. Yes, average costs is total or quantity, and it will be equal to 0 if quantity equals to 0, and divide 10q plus 1000 over q if quantity greater than 0. We know such function. We draw it in the previous class. Linear function with positive slope plus hyperbole. It looks like this. Yes, this will be average cost. So we should find for which quantity it will be minimum. So we should find minimum of average costs. How to find this quantity? From calculus, as in the previous task. The tangent line should have 0 slope, yes? should be horizontal. That means that first derivative should be equal to 0. So take the derivative. Take the derivative. Here will be 10. And from the here, minus, yes, minus 1000 over q square. And this should be equal to 0. From here, we'll find quantity for which this is true. So 10 equals to 1000 over q square. That means q square equals to 1000 over 10 equals to 100. And quantity equals to how much? 10. Yes, so here will be 10 in the graph. Typical mistake of students is to write this in the answer. So minimum of average costs equals to 10, but that's not true. Yes, quantity, we count in bananas. Yes, and costs, they are in dollars. So we should put this quantity into average cost function, and we will find what is the minimum that we will pay for each unit of product on average. Okay, so put this into average cost function, and you will find minimum of average cost function. So minimum of average cost will be 10 multiplied by 10 plus 1000 over 10. And this is 200. So this is the right answer of minimum of average cost.
Why is it 10 multiplied by 10 plus 1000 over 10?
If our task is to find minimum of average costs, they are counted in dollars. So we know that for this output, average cost will be minimal. So put this quantity into cost function, average cost function.
Why do we put it in the average cost?
Find minimum of average cost.
I see the task. Yeah, it's about average cost. Yeah, then okay.
So put into average cost function to find minimum of average cost. Good. So 200. So this will answer for which quantity? For quantity equals to 10. What will be the minimum of average cost? Minimum of average cost will be equal to 200. Yes. And then what is the minimal price at which the firm will agree to supply its output in the long run? But you know the answer. Yes. Long run supply price should be greater or equal than the minimum of average cost. So minimal price equals to 200. Yes. Okay, let's write down this. Firm agreed to sell in long run if price greater or equal than minimum of average cost. Not to shut down, but to sell something. So minimal price will be equal to minimum of average cost, and it is equal to 200. Please, questions?
Yeah, I do have a question. Once again, how did we get 200 by like this 10 multiplied by 10 plus 1000 by 10? But how did we get the first 10 in the formula?
So we had before in the task, we had total cost, you see, 10q square plus 1000. Then we found average cost, we divided total cost by q, by quantity. So divide 10q plus 1000 over q. This is average cost function. You see?
Yeah.
And if quantity is equal to 10, so average cost will be equal to 10 multiplied by 10 plus 1000 over 10. If quantity equals to 10. You put this 10 into average cost function.
And how did we derive quantity here?
We took the derivative from the average cost function. took the derivative from this one, it will be 10 minus 1000 over q squared, and equalize it to 0. It's for finding extremum from calculus for the tangent line to our function to have horizontal slope, to have slope 0. It was in the previous task also, how we found for maximum. Also, first derivative should be equal to 0. The slope of the tangent line should be 0, horizontal tangent line to the function. So guys, it's calculus, it's not economics. Wait. So, one more time. You have a function, some function, like this. So when function increases, the tangent line has positive slope. So the first derivative is positive when the function increases. Yes? When the function gets minimum, maximum or minimum, tangent line is horizontal and the slope equals to 0. When the function decreases, you see the slope of the tangent line is negative and the first derivative will be negative. So to find maximum or minimum, the first derivative should be equal to 0. The slope of the tangent line should be horizontal, should be equal to 0. Please read the calculus textbook to check how to maximize function or minimize function. Okay. Okay, next. Point B. In point B, I think we should find a long-run supply curve. So we should find quantity supplied in the long run as a function of the price. This is long-run supply function. We know our 3 steps. Yes. So let's do it. First of all, we write down profit maximization program, always. Profit of the firm is revenue, price multiplied by quantity minus costs, minus, okay, let's do like this, 10q squared plus 1000. And this we should maximize by choosing quantity non-negative. You wrote down profit maximization program, and then you do these 3 steps. Okay, first step. Price equals to marginal cost. Marginal cost here, how much? Please answer, Mr. Sim.
As we know, marginal cost should be the derivative from total costs, and it is going to be 20q.
20q, yes, 20q. So price equals to 20q. From here, what we should find? We should find quantity, so express quantity. Quantity equals to price over 20. But we do not stop here, we continue. Yes, we have 2 more steps. Second step, we should work on the increasing part of marginal cost function. The slope of marginal cost should be non-negative. 20q is a linear function with positive slope. You can check it. Take the derivative. 20 greater than 0, okay. So we found maximum, not minimum. And third step, price should be greater or equal than minimum of average cost, but we found it in the previous part. This is 200 for us. And now we are ready to write down the long-run supply function. So quantity supplied by each firm as a function of the price will be equal to price over 20 if price greater or equal than 200, minimum of average cost, and we will produce 0 if the price less than 200. Or you can write otherwise. the word otherwise. Yes, please, questions about this part. What we should do next? Market equilibrium, point C. In point C, if the market demand is given by 20,000 minus 50 multiplied by price, what will be the long run equilibrium price quantity, firms, blah, blah, blah. So for such demand function, we should find market equilibrium, long run equilibrium. You know the difference between short run and long run. In the short run, we have fixed costs. In the long run, we do not have fixed costs. But we have one more thing that will differ long run and short run. In the short run, the number of firms is fixed. The number of firms. Nobody can enter or leave the market in the short run. In the long run, firms can enter or leave the market. So in the long run equilibrium, in the answer, you should write three things: equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity, and the number of firms, because it is also variable in the long run. What do you know about the long run? About this equilibrium situation in the long run? Maybe you remember something from the lecture.
The supply should go down, so the price of the equilibrium also going down.
And it will be equal to what?
It would be equal to marginal the minimum of the marginal cost
Of average cost.
Oh yes.
Yes, but why is it so? I will show you. Yes, in equilibrium, price in long run equals to minimum of average costs. But why is it so? I want to explain to you. So this is about firms enter the market or leave the market. In what situation they do not want to leave or to enter the market. So the note. So suppose the profit of each firm is positive. What firms that are not now in the market, what they think? They see the positive profit and they like it, and they begin to enter the market if profit is positive for each firm. So firms begin to enter the market. What that means in our terms, the number of firms increases, yes, in this situation. And that means that competition rises, yes, between these firms. Competition rises. And if competition rises, price is going down. Equilibrium price is going down such that the profit of each firm is zero. Yes? Then, vice versa. If the profit of each firm now is less than zero, what firms begin to do in the long run? You know, if the profit is less than zero, firms begin
They
to
quit.
yes,
quit the
they
market.
leave the market. They begin to leave the market. That means that the number of firms decreases, the competition decreases, price goes up, and such that the profit of each firm increases. Yes, competition increases, price goes up, such that profit gets zero, becomes zero. So the equilibrium situation is the situation when no one wants to enter or leave the market. Stable situation. When profit equals to zero. No one wants to enter or leave the market. Let's write one more time. Profit equals to 0 when price multiplied by quantity minus total costs equals to 0. Price equals to average costs, yes? Total cost over quantity. And we know that the price should be minimal because also the price in equilibrium equals to marginal costs for each function. And we know that marginal cost and average cost, they intersect each other in minimum of average cost. You remember this fact? So price will be equal to minimum of average cost in long run. This is the stable situation. For in this situation, profit of each firm equals to 0, and no one wants to enter or leave the market. So this will be equilibrium price, P star. So let's write it. So profit in long run equals to minimum of average cost of each firm, because they are identical, equals to 200. Yes, 200. For this price, what then we can find? Who can continue? For such price, what we can find also?
Quantity.
Quantity that will be sold by one firm and by all firms also. Yes, by one firm. Put this price into the supply function of each firm. This will be 200 over 20. Yes, as I remember.
Yes.
10. So this quantity will be sold by each firm in the long run. And how to find market quantity in the market in total? What we know? We know the market demand. Yes.
Maybe multiply it.
No, not multiply, but maybe equal them, like.
Maybe if we put the price in the demand function, we'll get the number that is needed, and it will be the quantity.
Yes, yes, we know the market demand. How much will be bought? Yes, at the market. So put this price here. Into the market demand, 20,000 minus 50 multiplied by the price 200.
Yeah, that's what I meant by multiple. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So, and this is 10,000. Yes. That means the number of firms in the long run. How much?
It's 10,000 divided by
10.
By 10, just by 10. I think it was in the lecture.
10,000 over 10. Total amount over the amount that is sold by one firm. Yes, we will find the number of firms. So 1,000. So these are our answers. This for long run equilibrium, market quantity, and the number of firms. 3 things. And this quantity that is sold by one firm, it's additional. We can find it. It's easy. Guys, please, questions about this part? Okay, let's start point D. In point D, suppose that government introduces a per unit tax of 100 on producers of the good. So we have tax equals to 100. It is per unit tax. What that means? Each firm should pay 100 for each unit that it sells. So what will be our profit right now? This will be price multiplied by quantity minus previous costs minus
100.
that we should pay to government. Yes? Tax multiplied by quantity. Agree? And this we should maximize one more time by choosing quantity non-negative. What we will have here, so this was Q, oh, I forgot. 10Q squared plus 1000. So, and we should solve one more time, but it's easier. So first step, price should be equal to new marginal costs. New marginal costs is previous marginal costs plus tax. So for each unit, we should pay more by this tax. Agree? Look at this. This will be 20Q plus this tax. This is 20Q plus 100. And from here, express quantity. So quantity will be equal to price minus 100 over 20. First step. Second step. Second step easier. The slope of marginal cost should be non-negative, but it's not negative. It's a linear function with positive slope. So 20 greater than 0, okay. So we will find maximum of profit, not minimum. And then who can tell me what will happen with minimum of average cost? It will be equal to what?
Minimum of what?
Now the third step, price should be greater or equal than minimum of average cost. And it will be equal to what?
100. Like 2000 minus 1000, it's going to be 1000. Oh,
No,
I mean 100.
minimum of average cost. It
So
was
marginal
before
cost?
200. And
It
now
is 200 plus 100, 300.
300, yes, because on average for each unit we should pay 100 more. We should pay this tax, yes? This will be 200 plus this tax, 300. You can find it, you can find it. You can write new average cost function, new. This will be the previous one, 10Q plus 1000 over Q plus 100, 100. And this you will minimize, take the derivative. When you will take the derivative, it will be the same, 10 minus 1000 over Q square, and this should be equal to 0 to find the point where average cost will be minimal. But you see that average costs, they increase by 100. And that's so. So quantity here equals to 10. So new minimum of average cost equals to put here 10 multiplied by 10 plus 1000 over 10 plus 100. You see, this is the tax. And this is 300. But you can answer it faster, yes, if you understand how the tax increases costs. So we're ready to write down long run supply. Where? Like here. So long run supply will be equal to price minus 100 over 20 if the price greater or equal than new minimum of average cost, 300, and 0 otherwise. We will stop here and continue the next time about new long run equilibrium, buyer's price and seller's price. I will explain to you. I can't explain in 1 minute. Okay, so for you to train, I will give you the task to solve at home. 1 sec. Mhm.
Just at home, we will not discuss it in the next seminar. Okay.
You can discuss it with your group mates who have solved it.
All right.
Maybe on consultation if you need. So for you to train, to do same steps. So we have long run, the cost function of each individual from 0 if quantity equals to 0, and 9 plus q square if quantity greater than 0. Then we should find long run equilibrium. You know what is it, how to find it. If the demand, the market demand equals to 66 minus the price. And then you should repeat the same for market demand equals to 62 minus price. And one thing that is crucial here, that for this task, the number of firms can be only integer. It cannot be 1.5 firms. We should have 1 or 2 firms, for example. You understand? So number of firms should be integer. Целое число фирм. Okay? So try to solve it by yourself. For you to try. You should do the same steps as we did today, but please try to do it by yourself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So let me check if I wrote down everybody who answered. So Anastasia, Diane, I forgot. Елисей answered, yes.
Елизавета и Ваня. Иван.
Иван Замковой. Также Головцова Елизавета. И еще Максим.
Максим Никитин.
Никитин. А еще
Узунов Максим.
Узунов тоже.
Узунов тоже отвечал.
Никитин и Узунов, вот. Они
Да, все, всех записал, все супер. Так, еще
Спасибо.
раз. Да. 2 Максима, Иван, Даян, Лиза и Настя. Все. Да? Ладно.
Подождите,
Ребята,
я тоже
кто-
вы вроде
кто
не
еще нас-
отметили,
да,
но ладно.
Да, Елисей.
кто еще?
Елисей.
Елисей, вы меня отметили
Да,
вроде
у меня
не-
записано все, простите.
Всё хорошо.
Все хорошо. Вот, ребята, может, еще кто-нибудь будет отвечать? А то у вас получается расхождение, да, то есть те, кто отвечает, они довольно неплохо пишут квизы, да, и у них там еще выше оценки становятся, а кто не отвечает, то, ну, не знаю, хоть что-нибудь говорите, я же, типа, там, я вот что-нибудь сказали, включили микрофон, я сразу записываю, то есть это переборите свой страх, да, даже что-то неправильно сказать, да, вы зато лучше разберетесь.
Как будто мы все правильно сидим, говорим и все знаем.
Ну да, ну то есть правда, да, вот мы же вместе
Узурпировали
разбираем.
власть на экономической теории.
Вот, да, поэтому давайте.
Хорошо.
Вот, все, давайте расходимся до четверга. Всё.
До свидания.
До свидания.
Спасибо.
Всего доброго.
Да.